1, 2, 1, 2. So, we are right now, and I'm talking quietly because we're at a sit-in, a silent sit-in here right outside New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio's mansion. Looks like there's definitely over 1,000 people here. I might have that number wrong. It might be more than 1,000 people, but literally just people sitting on the ground with their hands up, Black Lives Matter signs. It is a half hour until the New York City curfew at 8 o'clock. It seems the organizers, obviously there's a lot of organizers of the movement here in New York City because there's different protests all over the city. But the organizers wanted to run up to the curfew with a peaceful demonstration, which seems like a pretty good dare to try and dare New York City police to arrest peaceful protesters. And you see adults, you see children out with their parents. You see African Americans, white people, Latinos, Asians, and obviously, you know, there's been a lot of video of fire, cars on fire, looting, tension, you know, police brutalizing protesters, but this is also very powerful. Just seeing the power in silence and peaceful protest. Can people hear me? I'm talking quietly, so Jen, send me a text message if people could hear me. And for those of you that don't know, right through the trees and all that is Mayor Bill de Blasio's mansion. Mayor Bill de Blasio, his term is up next year, and he ran on major police reform here in New York City, but he has certainly not delivered, and essentially has allowed the police to continue their barbarism and terrorism here in New York City. A lot of people were hopeful that New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio would usher in real police reform, particularly since he is the father of African American children and married to a black woman. But he's been under a lot of criticism here in New York City, particularly in the last week with these protests and the police response to the protesters. Make sure you press the like button. Let's get this out to more people. The more people that press the like button, it's right under the live stream, the more people that will see this powerful video. And we are currently a half hour from New York City's curfew at 8 o'clock. From what Mayor de Blasio signed an executive order today, I believe, that makes breaking curfew a misdemeanor with potential jail time, minimum 15 days, maximum, I believe, a year. So it'll be very interesting to see if the mayor's police force arrests these overwhelmingly peaceful protesters if they are breaking curfew with their hands up, with their fists up. And tell you the truth, I didn't realize that, you never quite know when you're going to cover protests. All I saw was 7 o'clock protest outside of Gracie Mansion, so I wasn't aware that it was a sit-in. But it's interesting. It's interesting to cover something like this because it's obviously different than a march. I'm not going to lie. At the moment, I don't mind a sit-in because we did cover a 65, 70 block march. And between the equipment Jamal's carrying and my own lower back problems, you know, I ain't no spring chicken to be marching 70 blocks. But we do it for you. Speaking of, feel free to leave a GoFundMe. I think when we went live, we were less than $100 from $107,000 raised, which is incredible. $107,000. We're almost there, so please, if you got a couple bucks, leave it in the GoFundMe. We also got our super chat going, so feel free to leave a super chat. And if you're not a Status Quo member, feel free sign up as a Status Quo member. statusquo.com/join. You could become a member for $5 a month. Frankly, do you see any other independent media out in the trenches covering these things? I do not. So it seems like the sit-in has ended. So I guess the sit-in was from 7 o'clock to 7:30. So you see people clapping. So we'll see what happens from here. So we're going to get a little closer, see what's going on here. So you see protesters all the way in the park because there's a bit of a park around the mansion.
There were no helicopters. It also happened to be. Majority light-skinned people.
Majority light-skinned people.
Majority light-skinned people. This is part of our privilege.
This is part of our privilege.
This is part of our privilege. In a world of white supremacy.
In a world of white supremacy.
In a world of white supremacy. One solution.
One solution.
One solution. When you march.
When you march.
When you march. With light skin.
With light skin.
With light skin. Protect black and brown people.
Protect black and brown people.
Protect black and brown people. This is a community forum.
This is a community forum.
This is a community forum. So anyone can speak in the future.
So anyone can speak in the future.
So anyone can speak in the future. The Montgomery bus riots, boycott.
The Montgomery bus riots.
Zoom in on the
Was
sun.
380 days.
Was 380 days.
Was 380 days. The uprising.
The uprising.
of Dr. King. Was 6 days. Non-stop. In hundreds of cities. And gave us civil rights laws. This may take time. This must be, sorry. This might be hard. But it is our commitment. To living on this planet. To care for one another. I'm gonna pass the mic. I'm gonna ask people after we're done. To march past the mayor's house. Around the park. And out into the street. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for all to come.
Your mic check, please.
Yes, mic check. Thanks for all to come. This protest, in the way that I speak, is for my country. That we don't have civil rights. Many people get killed without a right. But we are the world. Because we live in New York and we live in the United States. And we have a freedom to speak. And to spread what we feel. To do this protest. And all of you with me. Is a hope in every part of the world that he can be a change for good.
It's telling every part of the world that we can be a change for good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mic check! Mic check! Why do you let them kill us? Why are the people you chose to protect the ones killing us? Why did I have to write my mom a letter so when I get home, she doesn't think I'm dead? Why do I have to worry about my family talking about whether I'm dead or not when I get home? They don't know if I'm here. They don't know if I'm fighting. Do you guys hear me?
Let's go.
I want you to see me.
See you.
I want you to hear me.
We can hear you.
I don't want to die. Life is good. I want to live. Stop letting them kill us. Stop letting them kill us. Your police are unjust. They don't protect you. They protect property.
They don't protect you. They protect property.
I am not property. I'm a man. I'm a black man. Don't let them kill me.
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 Thank you.
brothers and sisters.
Letting them kill our brothers and sisters.
We must come together as one.
Thank you.
Mic check! Mic check! Okay, a lot of you are white people. I am a white person.
A lot of you are white people.
You may think
Nothing
bad can happen to you or the people you know.
bad can happen to you or the people you know.
But the people protesting
But the people protesting
in D.C.,
in D.C.,
in Minneapolis, in Detroit, in Brooklyn, we're not given a warning
we're not given a warning
when things turn violent.
when things turn violent.
Now, I have supplies
I have supplies
in case of tear gas.
in case of tear gas,
And I want to teach you how to administer it.
and I want to teach you how to administer it.
Have the person kneel.
Have the person kneel.
Use a squeeze bottle of water or anti-acid liquid.
Use a squeeze bottle of water or anti-acid liquid.
Apply to the inner corner of the eye
Apply to the inner corner of the eye.
and flush towards the ground.
And flush towards the ground.
I guess that's my time. Thank you.
There is nobody but I can. But they can go through the. You want to get to the Blasio complex.
So it looks like there's another group that just joined this group. So we'll go over there. And somebody falling over on a bicycle. And people chanting, "Fuck your curfew." So they're getting out into the street here, right outside Gracie Mansion, which is where Mayor de Blasio lives. Pretty sure the police can't arrest every single person here because there's a couple, well over 1,000 people, maybe more than that.
No peace!
Police! No justice! No peace! Fuck these racists!
Police!
Those pathways are like this.
So right now it looks like protest organizers are kind of in the middle of the street here. Seems like they're organizing what they're going to do. What time is it? By the way, my phone is close to dying, so it's 15 minutes till the curfew. 15 minutes till the curfew, and I got them. They're marching that way. So look, they're marching this way. You can't see it, but police have a barricade around the mayor's mansion. What's up, man? Now they're chanting. Make sure you press the like button. Get this out to as many people as you can. It's the thumbs up button right under the live stream. Smash that like button. Share this live stream to more people. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Feel free to leave a super chat, a GoFundMe. Support actual independent reporting and journalism. Ah, they got music going. So they're singing "Get Up, Stand Up, Fight for Your Rights," and this is a hell of a lot of people right on York Avenue, East End, right outside Gracie Mansion, which is where the mayor lives. Smell a certain plant that smells good. Might get a little contact high. Now they're saying no justice, no peace, fuck these racist police.
Being black is not a crime.
Being
Black is not a crime. Being black is not a crime. Being black is not a crime. Being black is not a crime. Being black is not a crime. No justice. No peace. 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 Fuck these racist ass police. No justice. No peace. Fuck these racist ass police. No justice. No peace. Fuck these racist ass police. I said no justice. No peace. Fuck these racist ass police. I said no justice. No peace. Fuck these racist ass police. No justice. No peace. Fuck these racist ass police. Take a knee. Take a knee.
so they're taking another knee.
What's his name? George Floyd. 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 Say his name. George Floyd. What's his name? George Floyd. What's his name? George Floyd. Say his name. George Floyd. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Now. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Now. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Now. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Now.
So 12 minutes till the curfew. Doesn't seem like many people out here particularly care that much about the curfew. This is a peaceful protest, so if the police want to, mess with people, that remains to be seen. But this is a largely peaceful protest. Definitely, I mean, I'm not great at counting, but definitely looks like over 1,000 people, maybe even more than that. And it's going several blocks down. And there's music playing, chanting. You got I've seen parents with their children here. You see people on the side of the street showing support. We are on 86th Street and East End Avenue. Gracie Mansion. So somebody speaking right now said, If you don't want any issues, if you don't want to get arrested, please go home, because the curfew is in 10 minutes. And now they're saying, hands up, don't shoot, hands up, don't shoot.
Don't shoot! Hands up! 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 Don't shoot!
And I didn't see anyone leave when the person on the microphone back there said, if you don't want to get arrested or anything like that, go home. It seems like everybody stayed, everybody's in solidarity. So, and now they're telling people to move forward this way. Keep pressing the like button, keep sharing this live stream. Important moment, important protest. So share this, share this, share this. Looks like 8 minutes till the curfew. People saying de Blasio resign. And you still see most people out here. It doesn't seem like people are leaving. And I honestly think the police would have a hard time arresting every single person out here. So. And they're calling for de Blasio to resign. You know, de Blasio has essentially let the police just terrorize black and brown communities in New York City. Even though he's talked the talk about reform, he has not done a significant amount to overhaul the police department here. He did have the power to fire the police officer that killed Eric Garner. It took over 5 years for that police officer to be fired. And the police commissioner fired him, not the mayor. So now they're marching that way. Looks like 86th Street, and we're on 86th to the East End Avenue. So they're marching, I guess, south. And it's just amazing. I mean, you see all over the city, you just see thousands and thousands of people out. And protesting. I mean, I call it the United Corporations of America, because it is, but there's also nothing more American than protesting. And unfortunately, nothing more American than police trying to beat the hell out of protesters. And you see people handing out masks for protesters. You see people handing out water for protesters. People saying, fuck your curfew, fuck your curfew.
Fuck your curfew! Fuck your curfew!
6 minutes till this curfew. De Blasio did sign a executive order saying breaking the curfew can lead to misdemeanor charges, including jail time and fines. Whether they enforce that or not, we'll see. Last night they did arrest people, but not every person out after curfew was arrested. It's a little slower paced than the last march. I like this. The last march we did, woo, it was like hella sunny, hella hot, marching 70 blocks. This is like a, what do they call that, gentle yoga? This is like the gentle yoga version I like. Minus the curfew and getting arrested. So now they're marching south on East End Avenue. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel, unless you see CNN out here covering this. I don't think so. Press the subscribe button. Join us as a member, statuscoup.com/join. Sign up for as low as $5 a month. And I want to remind you, I mean, it's not really being talked about, but you got thousands of people out in New York City, tens of thousands all over this country. I mean, there's still a pandemic going on, but people are just, hey, they're willing to take the health risk to speak up and to stand on the front lines against this police terrorism that has gone on way too long. And remember, these protests are continuing even after the charges were brought today against the 3 other officers who were involved with George Floyd's murder. So they're continuing because it's about more than George Floyd. This is about decades and decades and decades of police brutality against black people. Hell, centuries of terrorism and sin against black people. So this is about much more than just the George Floyd murder. People have their hands up. 4 minutes till the curfew. They got their hands up, don't shoot, hands up, don't shoot. I feel like I've lost at least 4 or 5 pounds today. So about four minutes away from that curfew. Doesn't seem like people give a shit, which is good. We're now on 84th Street and East End Avenue, 84th Street and East End Avenue. And this is kind of the park that surrounds the mayor's mansion. They're passing out clementines, which is nice. Now they're saying, don't shoot, don't shoot. Got a guy, I like that sign, Blue Klux Klan. It's a cool sign. And by the way, we have seen the Blue Lives Matter crowd strike back. Blue Lives Matter was trending #1 for an hour or two earlier, so obviously there is this culture war going on and racial battle lines. So 1 minute till the curfew. 1 minute. Keep sharing this live stream. Press the share button. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. There's different protests going on all over the city. Now they're chanting, I can't breathe, I can't breathe.
I can't breathe! 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 I can't breathe!
What do you think about the energy out here? It's a beautiful thing.
I think the energy is excellent, and I think this is exactly what we need. The first step to making a change is to raising awareness. So I think people need to educate themselves, be a part of the movement, but we also need to understand that we're all doing this with the intention of driving change. That's change with the companies that we support, who need to demand and affect change in the communities that they profit from. That's change in the government. Our government officials need to be aware of the people that support them, and we need to make sure that criminal justice reform is on the agenda of every elected official. Furthermore, we need to make sure that we're supporting the organizations that make things like this possible, donating to the NCAACP and other criminal defense funds that support protesters and make this organization possible. So I think it's absolutely excellent, the energy here, and as you can see, it's peaceful. There's no violence. There's good energy. Everyone just wants to affect positive change.
And you know, your sign is so powerful. I don't want my mother to worry about me getting killed. It's another level and a barrier when you go out at night. Your parents having to worry way more than my parents ever had to worry. How is that just living your daily life like that?
Well, you know, it breaks my heart to hear when my mother tells me that she cries every night when she sees stuff like this happen, and that she worries for my safety. Frankly, Black women in this country have too much of a burden to bear, and being worried about their children being killed is certainly should not be one of them.
And do you think there's more pressure on the politicians right now? You think they're feeling the pressure?
I hope so. I saw CNN reporting that there are protests in all 50 states, so it means that the message is being verbalized and to the level that we want to see it verbalized. So I expect that politicians will come out and address the situation so that we know where they stand, and also so that we understand what plans they have in place to affect change of the systemic injustice that has been put in this place and this country was built on for the last few centuries.
What's your name?
My name is Katie Reed.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So that was Katie Reeve. Great words. And they're still chanting, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." The 8 o'clock curfew is come and gone. Right now, you know, they're continuing to march on. So they are marching on down East End Avenue here in New York. 80th Street and East End. I'm schwitzing still. It's hot still. And the beautiful thing is, you know, again, I've covered police brutality protests all over the country. St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, Flint, New York. And, you know, there's always like white allies and white people, but not this many white people. And obviously this is a black-led movement, but it's going to take white people making it, you know, not just being bystanders, but taking leadership in pressuring our government, in pressuring police, in economic boycotts, if that's what it takes. We haven't really discussed that much, but listen, the oligarchy and the plutocrats, they tend to listen when their quarterly profits go down, right? Jimmy Dore is right. If Amazon was boycotted for more than 2 days, this country would come to its knees. If Walmart, Amazon, fast food industry, mainstream banking, if you had coordinated boycotts of these things, oh, you better believe reform would come very quickly. So although this is obviously about police brutality and Black Lives Matter, you know, who knows what this could become at a later date. You know, people talk about a general strike and things like this. There's a lot of outrage here against the police, against our government for allowing this terrorism. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, I don't know. We're probably about 20 minutes from sunset here in New York City. We've been going for, I think, 4 hours. I don't know. They're now turning on 79th Street. Now you see police here. So we'll see if they start trying to arrest people. The police are coming up on your right. But honestly, I don't really know how the police start arresting people in bulk who are peacefully protesting. It seems like it would be a difficult thing. Don't get too close to them, Jamal. Hey, Ben. Yeah, we're Status Quo. We're a progressive outlet on YouTube. We're live right now.
Nice, man.
What do you think of the energy out here?
This is the first time I've ever been a part of a protest, and it's bigger than me. It's bigger than life right now. It's a universal thing. Feels amazing.
And now that the officers have been charged, how do you see it evolving from here? Because it doesn't seem like it's ending.
Hopefully they get convicted, but you know, they don't have a good track record of doing that, so we just got to see, you know. Hopefully this isn't just a fad. This isn't trendy for social media. Let these white people know that we really live this every day.
And what do you want to see in terms of New York City reform? Because the police department here is obviously...
Defund the police.
Defund the police. I couldn't say it better. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So you got people on bikes. Now they're chanting Breonna Taylor, Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor! Breonna Taylor! Breonna Taylor! Say her name! 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 Breonna Taylor!
So it's Breonna Taylor, obviously. With all this going on, with George Floyd going on, we can't forget Breonna Taylor was literally in bed, in bed, and she got killed. Police shot, like went in commando style into her apartment, started shooting, thinking, you know, they were going after somebody else. Wasn't even, it was a different person's apartment, and she's dead now. What do you call that? An accident or terrorism? So there's Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and, you know, the countless others. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, we're close to 30 years from Rodney King. I don't know how many viewers we have right now because my phone's dying, so I don't want to look. But keep pressing that like button. Keep pressing the share button. Get this out to as many people as you can. The more people that see this, the better. Now they're going down. Now they're going down First Avenue. No, they're going down York Avenue, excuse me. So York Avenue here. This is the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Fairly, you know, not cheap to live here. And there you have protesters were moving for an ambulance, and the ambulance got, the driver said Black Lives Matter, which is nice. So subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Support us as a member if you can. If you can't, we totally get it. But if you can, $5 a month, statuscoup.com/join. Become a member. And you got signs for Breonna Taylor. You got signs for, obviously, George Floyd. It's a beautiful thing. And so far, police have been, you know, they haven't come in here. So we'll see. We're 10 minutes after the curfew now. What do you think? It's been a long day, but what do you think? Have you seen protests like this?
No, I like what I see, you know, is people really, you know, they believe in this cause, and they it's very heartening to see all these people out here, you know. Usually you would think that, you know, most white people don't really give a shit about what the fuck we going through, but it's like, you know, it's an everybody problem. It's not just a black problem, it's a black, white, Asian. You know, we all have to respect each other. You know, we all need to understand that every life matters, and until Black Lives Matter, that won't be possible. So I didn't expect it to be this multiracial. I know that we're not in this fight alone, and I'm very happy to see this, you know. I'm very proud of my city.
Apologies if the camera work sucked, not my specialty. That's Jamal. By the way, he's carrying like heavy ass equipment for like 70 blocks, so give him some love. Woo! So now they're chanting peaceful protest, peaceful protest. Sure. Sure. Somebody wanted a picture? What do you think? What do you think of this energy right now? It's unbelievable.
I think the energy is great. I think it's good to see so many people from different walks of life coming together for the cause and not paying attention to the negativity, but getting to the problem. Because so many people skip past what the issue was to the retaliation. This is people's retaliation to a hate crime, and people need to know that. So I think the energy is unmatched.
You know, when I've seen CNN and stuff, they only seem to be showing the looting, the fires, right. But I don't see them like in the trenches just showing peace.
It's great because we're going to show them this. So that's what it is. Definitely.
Talk about you personally. What's been your experience with the police?
Experience with the police. I mean, I'm not from the worst neighborhood. I'm, from Long Island, but my experience with the police has been pretty much a negative one. It's always you could feel a lot of the aggression. You could feel a lot of the judgment. Anytime I've been pulled over, they come out with their gun on their hand on their gun already, and it's like I don't even know what I'm being pulled over for. You know what I mean? I've always felt the hostility. I feel like police officers take themselves away from being human beings, and they're just officers. They're just a badge, and that's got to change.
I got to tell you, I join you. I tweeted earlier. I am ashamed to be from Long Island today. I'm from Long Island, and I see these fucking Trump fanatics out there with their "Don't tread on me," and they were trying to stop protests on Long Island. The police blocked protesters from getting on a main road. So I don't know. I got to do something about Long Island.
To Freeport, because Freeport protested, I think yesterday. Hempstead will protest on Friday, so I'm going to be there. So Long Island they're picking up the slack, and they're doing what they got to do out there too, because they have their own kind of police issues. You know what I mean? It's a bit intense out here, but out there they have their police brutality issues as well.
What's your name?
Jacob.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. So, fellow Long Islander there.
That's my cousin.
Oh, that's your cousin? Really? Oh, I didn't know that. So, that's Jamal's cousin. You learn something every day. Said Freeport's like 20 minutes down the road from me on Long Island. But Long Island's really, something's going on with Long Island. It's really becoming Trump country. It's kind of disturbing. So now you see the police behind us. You see the police behind us. So far, they're just kind of trailing the protesters. They're not cracking skulls yet, but we'll see. See what happens. Now they're hooking a right. The protesters are hooking a right on 75th and 75th Street and York Avenue. They're saying hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Keep pressing that like button, share this live stream, get it out to more people. And now they're chanting Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, alternating between the two. So they're starting with say their names, say their name, and then they say George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. You lose your brother? And I'm seeing alerts that protesters have been maced in Orlando, Florida. A car drove through a crowd of protesters in Newport Beach, California. So still a lot of brutality going on, whether it's police macing people or just crazy people driving through protesters.
Our streets! Our streets!
Now they're saying, whose streets? Our streets?
Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets.
And you see people making positive comments from their windows, which, you know, gives energy to the protesters, who then, you know, clap back to the people shouting positive things from their windows. Hell, you know, that's a great idea. I might rollerblade next time. This guy's rollerblading, which would be a lot easier than walking. So I started in Washington Square Park, which is all the way downtown. So right now they're going towards First Avenue. They're about, 15 minutes past Bill de Blasio's curfew. I don't know what's going on in other places, but the last few days there's been big protests on Manhattan, the Manhattan Bridge downtown. We saw stuff in Chelsea yesterday, the West Side. So now they're hooking a left. Now they're hooking a left on First Avenue. And you know what's different about these protests that I've been covering compared to other protests is just usually in protests after a few hours, you know, it starts emptying out more. People start to go home, but in this one, they're sticking with it. I mean, I see just as many people here as started out this particular protest. So right now they're walking down First Avenue. And by the way, just so you know, if you don't live in New York, the two areas that we've been covering today. So like an hour ago, we were on the Upper West Side, which is some of the wealthiest properties in all of the country. A lot of, you know, Wall Street hedge fund guys, really, you know, well-known plastic surgeons, you know, the rich of the rich live on the Upper West Side. But a lot of wealthy people live up here, too. Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, when they come for their fundraisers with all these rich assholes, it's usually up here and where we were. So, just a little explanation of where we are. I mean, you can find areas to live around here that aren't, you know, $10 million brownstones, but there's a lot of wealthy people living here. So you see, I think that's, yeah, the police cars behind us putting their sirens on, so whatever that means. Hey man, what's up, brother? What's your name?
Huh?
What's your name?
Steve.
What do you think of the protests? I mean, the energy's out of control.
I think it's I think it's inspiring. I think it feels good for a change. I know a lot of my friends and family were really anxious by what they were seeing, but I was anxious a few years ago, and they didn't seem to understand. A lot of my friends and family are not as dark as I am. And it's funny now that I'm growing more comfortable, more inspired, they're feeling more anxious, and I'm trying to talk them through it and get them to understand that this is good.
What do you think now? Where does this protest movement go from here now that the other officers were charged? Obviously, this is not just about George Floyd, but where does this go after this? Specific demands, pressuring lawmakers?
Well, the latest demand I've been hearing is the repeal of 50A in New York State, which apparently New York City lawmakers have been, the executive branch has been using to protect police misconduct, and repealing that is supposed to help, but the governor is also saying that in the past that never used to protect police from misconduct, so why is that being the shield that we're using now? So I don't know, it's complicated because politicians are going to say a lot of things that they hope will reduce the intensity of the moment, hoping to put a Band-Aid over the situation, and we have to be careful not to let up and not to let them get by with the minimal amount of effort. Killer Mike made a speech a few days ago that inspired a lot of people, and he was pointing out how now's the time to vote, now's the time to hold your city officials' feet to the fire, and he was talking in respect to Atlanta. But not too long ago I saw the Atlanta child murder documentary series, and the city officials, including the black mayor at the time of the serial killings of young black men, did the minimal amount possible to say, okay, we did it, we got this one guy, it's over. It's not KKK, it's not anyone else, it's not several people, it's just this one guy and we're done. And they ran away from the problem to quickly get back to normal. It's important to recognize that while people are uncomfortable, we have to press on with the discomfort as much as possible so that the maximal amount of change is achieved.
And lastly, I'm starting to hear people talk about this a little more, but I think people are starting to talk about possibly some economic ramifications here, economic boycotts, economic divestment, because obviously we know reform comes real quick when the oligarchy gets hit in the wallet. What do you think about some organized, whether it's striking Amazon, striking different businesses that, the only color they care about is green?
Yeah, I have been pushing for that agenda as much as I can, as frequently as I can from the start of the pandemic, getting people to recognize that it's all tied into each other. Amazon, when we are complicit with one aspect of injustice and oppression, we are oftentimes doing it all over the place because we want to live in comfort, we want to live in distraction. We don't want to do something that some might think is like extreme, like activism, like protesting. And I have a friend who works for the MTA, and it wasn't until the oppression came to his doorstep that he came to understand it. When he was being told to put his body on the line, that he came to understand, well, that's not too different from what's happening with Amazon. That's not too different with what's been happening with Walmart. And with teachers, because I have a lot of friends who are in education, it's not too different from when we were told to continue going to schools, continue working. When Cuomo said, if you are in the public sector and you're not willing to continue working and putting your life on the line, that you got into the wrong career, as if to say, we should be willing to give our bodies so that the wealthy can continue to have their societal machine work for them.
What's your name?
Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Nice meeting you.
Powerful words, powerful words. And I say, fuck it, man. I'm guilty too. In haste, needing things quickly, I order from Amazon, but let me tell you something. This country would come to its goddamn knees if there was a boycott of Amazon, Walmart, all of these outfits, fast food, mainstream banking, you name it. So we kind of lost we kind of lost protesters. It's all right. We'll probably call it a day soon anyway, because honestly, I ain't a spring chicken anymore, and Jamal looks like he's gonna faint soon. I know we're not complaining, but it's not easy. We've been live. We started at Washington Square Park. I think we took like a 15-minute break just to get in a car and come over here. But we've been going for like 4.5 hours, 5 hours, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So you see the police trailing the protesters here. So far they haven't done anything or bothered anybody. So we'll see if that continues. Got their batons out here. So you see people showing support from up there. And the protesters are hooking a right here on 3rd Avenue. You see extinguish white supremacy signs, which is pretty cool. All right. So, you see the police. I mean, look at this. Look at this line of police. Holy cow. Look at how many police they have, literally, for a peaceful protest. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 police cars. It's truly unbelievable. All that for a very peaceful protest that started with people kneeling, sitting. So I don't know. I don't know what they're planning on doing. I mean, technically, yeah, there was a curfew, 8 o'clock. But, you know, how are you going to start arresting people who are kneeling for Black lives? You know, the worst they're doing is saying, like, suck my dick. I mean, it's not nice to say that, but, you know, they keep getting killed. So that's, you know, if that's the worst that police are going to get today, cry me a river. So we're going to wrap because, tell you the truth, we're not, you know, I just can't go all night. We've been going for like 4.5, 5 hours. My back is killing me. I don't need a third back surgery in 3 years. Jamal's got heavy equipment, so we'll see what's going on tomorrow and, you know, try to be back at it tomorrow. But hopefully through all of this, you're seeing, because I think CNN, MSNBC, all of these corporate outlets, they generally have been showing the arson. They've generally been showing the looting, the close dust-ups between police and protesters. But they're not really interested in being like immersed in the peaceful protests. Partially because I don't think many of the protesters would actually want to speak with anyone from CNN. Even me, who's, you know, generally on their side, the protesters, you know, they're suspicious of me if they don't know status quo or whatever, with good cause. I mean, most media is terrible, particularly local media. They just basically report what the police tell them as a press release, and they just keep on reporting stenography from the police. So we hope today, watching our march from earlier, which started in Washington Square Park, and now watching this sit-in, you've seen that this is peaceful. Obviously, we'll be live as these continue. We're still going to continue to try to find other journalists around the country, because obviously this is not just in New York, it's going on everywhere. We had somebody in Minneapolis, we had somebody in Los Angeles, Jen was in DC. She had, you know, police barged into her, roughed her up, she got her phone knocked to the ground. The live stream heard around the world. Her phone live streamed after it got knocked knocked to the ground for 90 minutes. So Jen is the hero in this. You know, I've just been walking. The police haven't barged into me yet. But what you could do to keep us going, to keep us in the field, is fund us. There's a lot of outlets begging you for money, and then what do you get from those outlets? A whole lot of Trump, a whole lot of Russia, a whole lot of bullshit. We are in the field, showing you what's really, really happening. So we hope you could support us. Support us at Status Coup. What are they doing? Statuscoup.com/join. Look at these police. What? I mean, am I missing something? Statuscoup.com/join. Statuscoup.com/join. You can become a member for $5 a month. Think about that. 16 cents a day to support the media revolution. 16 cents a day. For those of you that don't have it, we get it. Tough times, tough economic times. The police are trying to fuck up my fundraising pitch. Tough economic times, so if you can't support us as a member, just share these live streams. Spread the word to your friends, your family. Status Coup, we're almost at 81,000 subscribers. If you don't want to become a member, but you want to like donate now, donate to our GoFundMe. I don't know what we're at, but we're close to $107,000 raised. So once we hit $107,000 raised, then we're $3,000 away from our goal of $110,000. So that would be awesome once we hit $110,000. And you know, subscribe to this channel if you're new. Press the subscribe button. Watch our previous live streams from earlier in the day. Watch our live streams from yesterday here. Watch our live streams from Minneapolis. Watch our our videos from Los Angeles. We got a lot of great videos up. I also interviewed Justin Jackson, the NFL running back. He plays for the Chargers. Amazing interview. Talked about Colin Kaepernick being vindicated. Called Joe Biden a racist, which I thought was kind of interesting. So we got great interviews on the channel. And follow us at Status Coup on the Twitter. At Status Coup on the Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Instagram.com/Status Coup. That's Instagram.com/Status Coup. And that's it. Statuscoup.com/join. Become a member for $5 a month. And if you can, donate to our GoFundMe. Any last words, Jamal?
Yes, keep this movement alive. Support any way you can. This isn't over.
All right. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.